Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of natural parenting and the continuum concept. Um, I think where I left off was this environment, and that's why I'm so adamant about this in terms of helping facilitate the right environment for mothers and fathers and their children. So the environment that we created here, I think gave me a connection to my children, a connection to everything, because we had this primitive, wild ocean, and let me tell you, it could go from, like today, a very low tide, calm sea, to raging storms that were crashing over the seawall, and the children were shoveling sand back onto the beach that had spilled onto the boardwalk, and that was part of their big tasks. So, natural childbirth, continuum concept, not making your child the center of attention. And for us, that moved into a lot of experimenting with homeschooling, home education, unschooling. John Holt's work, if you don't know it, I had been educated, made aware of school systems, problems with public school systems, and not wanting to have my children be a part of public school systems for quite a long time. So I take full responsibility and blame for any screw ups there. But the most important thing that evolved in our child rearing experience was like the redwood seed. It grows into this giant tree without anybody's help, and children grow into adulthood without anybody's help, and they learn how to stand and walk without anyone's help, and they learn to run without anyone's help, and they learn to speak through observation and repetition and imitation and modeling. And they will learn that they're valued and worthy because that's what we give to them. And so the welcomed and worthy child is going to absorb from the physicality of being in father's arms near his heart, mother's arms near her heart, something precious, which is that my life is valuable, I'm worthy, I'm welcomed. And as I mentioned before on another one of my videos, where I saw something that reminded me of my family life with my children and my wife and our parenting, when I was at the home of one of my professors, and it was a gathering of MFA students, but also with some of her neighbors and their children and her children, and we were doing really important stuff. She was the professor, so this was important. This was her class. We were her students. This was really important. This is our work. This is our life. This is our writing. And these children were her children. And one time, her younger child was in her arms, just cuddling. Needed that heart connection. Needed to feel that he was worthy. Needed to feel that he was welcomed. And conversations went on. That's That's the continuum concept. That's the evolutionary. We don't need much more than that. Inclusivity of children in our important world for a long enough time that, oh, okay, I've gotten my fill and I've been a part of this, and now I'm going to go play with my gang over here. We're going to do our important work. So there's a beautiful balance that works out, but we do have to understand that there are two fundamental things that we need to do right, and that is from childbirth through those first few years of life. That child has to know that he or she is welcomed and worthy. And that can only come from here. And that can only come from a bonding that we allow that child to come and go from us. So in the first 6 months, it's 100% of the time here. And from 6 months to 1 year, it's maybe 75%, and then it starts to crawl and then comes back and then crawls further, then comes back. And then from 1 year to 2 years, it's, going further out and coming back. And by 3 years, there should be such a beautiful sense of freedom that child has to go with older siblings, cousins, father, neighbors, and know that he has the safety and security and protection and provision for him or her to self-explore, explore the bigger world outside. And we're doing just the opposite of that. We're not having the continuum concept, and we then are paying attention to children like they're the center of attention all the time, and they are screaming and acting out because they didn't get the physicality, they didn't get the bonding. And now we're pretending that there are equals, and we're not wanting to give them any kind of sense of hierarchical awareness. So if you give your child, if your child bonds with its mother as nature has designed it, and if the child sees loving parents bonding with each other, and if those loving parents have friends and adults and business and important things to do and attend to that they can observe, that child will learn to find its own important things and its own purpose. And it won't be, and it won't end, and it will be connected to an awareness of looking up to mom and dad and looking up this way hierarchically, instead of placing this huge burden on a child to pretend that for any time in that child's life that it's equal to us. It will never be equal to us, and when it's younger, it doesn't need equality at all. And by the time that it gets to a place of young adulthood, he should be way beyond paying attention to us anyway, because then he's focused on starting his own family and his own tribe. Okay, that's That's natural parenting, the continuum concept, natural parenting. Uh, Send me your comments, your stories, your feedback, and understand that if you weren't able to do something yourself for whatever reason, love is the deepest, most powerful, penetrating force in parenting and in life. And you may have a friend and you may have a child where you become a grandparent, and there you may support them in their natural parenting experience. Namaste. By the way, I have to say something, because I'm getting this from a lot of people, where they say that some of my writing and some of my philosophy seems somewhat Buddhist, and then I have this primitive, silverback. I'm not a pacifist, and the silverback's not a pacifist, but I do believe in gentle, tender firmness. What I mean by that is, I believe that our children, our mates, our partners, our spouses should know that we are there to provide and protect, but we won't hesitate to step up and destroy those who would interfere. Okay, checking out.